Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a Scrap Academy lesson in finger painting. You know, getting messy, getting your hands dirty. I opened with this because this is something I did to kind of practice and I've used all kinds of different water-soluble media in my mixed media layouts, and I primarily, kind of default back to my Tim Holtz Distress Oxides. These are Diane Reevely Dylusions Shimmer Sprays, and I used something of the technique that I will use for you today, but I'm definitely going to use this. I can use this practice board for die cutting butterflies or lots of different things. And primarily what I'm going to show today is I'm going to make something to use as a backdrop for a white cut file. And the cut file I'm wanting to use is this one that says home, and there's going to be a photo inside here. And so I'm just going to kind of do my rainbow across this way. Although, it could work for this. I had thought about maybe using this to fill a pumpkin cut file, just actually backing the file with this. So we'll see. There's nothing I love better than a rainbow array of colors surrounded by and behind something that's white. I just absolutely love that look. So what I'm going to do right now is very simple. It's exceedingly simple, and the only thing I would say that could be troublesome for you is having paper that's not quite thick enough. And I will tell you, because one thing that I wanted to do, I practiced on a small practice board that had been gessoed. This is without gesso, and I think inks take on a more interesting character with these little surrounding areas. They blend nicely when they've got a wet base, and I do spray the paper with water, and then I continue to spray along in there. And these have some shimmer to them, so there's a little bit of gold that comes to the surface. It didn't do as much of that on the gessoed paper. So what I'm gonna do today is not gessoed. There's nothing wrong with gessoing. It's just that the look that I was going for wasn't as vivid, let's say, with the gesso. So I kind of want something that takes up about a third, the middle third of the page, and I'm going to not care if there are splatters. In fact, I'm going to add some splatters after this is all over. But I've got my colors lined up, and I'll tell you that I do not have a yellow in the shimmer spray. There is a color called, I forget what it is. Let's pull it out here. It is called Pure Sunshine, but it's a little too orangey for me, and I kind of want to do, I'm using an orange here, this Tangerine Dream, because it's so beautiful next to the pink. So it's going to start out kind of looking like I might be doing the packaging technique, but then I'm going to add my finger to the mix. And I happen to know from having just used these, and the fact that it has that mica in there, the sprayers get blocked up pretty easily. So I'm gonna be prepared not to be able to spray, but I'll lift up and I'm gonna see, I just want to be sure that you can see both what I'm doing on my page, which I can move over here, but also what I'm doing on the packaging here. So I'm just going to kind of get this on here, get a little bit of it, but enough that I can move it around. And then I'm going to spray across the area that I know I'm going to be doing this. So my idea is that across the letters, the colors will kind of be blending in. So I can do this kind of like the packaging technique here, and then I can, because it's wet, I can kind of move it around with my fingers. And I'm going to let it go all the way to the edge there, and I'll kind of blot it off my mat. And I can always go back and add kind of some more intense streaks there. That was not cute what I did there. Okay, let's put the lid on that, and we'll move to orange. And I have done this couple different ways on the example. One thing that I did, I accidentally spilled too much of the ink on the packaging, so I blotted it up with a paper towel, and then I just used the paper towel to blot the color onto the page. So I'm going to kind of fold that and let that kind of blend right on to there. I possibly should have done that one a little closer to the pink. This allows, you every once in a while see streaks and drips, and sometimes they've actually dripped and sometimes they've been helped by a finger, and then you can kind of blot around there to okay, let me blot my finger off there. Let's see if we can do this. I wanted a lot of that orange to show because that's the area where the O is going to be. And so that's where the photo is going to be. Okay, here, let's see if I can get this one sprayed on. Yeah, that sprays on. And I'm going to do that. And I can come over here and kind of blend some of those together, and I can even carry it over here and add a little bit of this yellow down over into here, and you can see it's like a whole different color when it's blended in there. And if it's not quite wet enough for me to move it around like I want to, just touch it with some water, and I can get a more kind of natural drippy look there. Okay, and I just touched that with my fingers, so let me kind of put this aside, and I'm going to do the green. And I'm going to really do a nice big splotch of green, and I'm going to kind of show you what I did with that. This is helpful. I can kind of go like this and get it up close to the yellow there, and then I can take this in and really get it nicely spread out. And I've got a little bit of the green that has splashed over into the yellow, and I love that. Let me, and you can kind of control where it gets a little muddy there. You can blot that up. And even the this lemon zest is a little bit more orangey than I would like. You know what I think I'm gonna do? There is a color here, funky fuchsia, that I think I have room for over on this side. And so I'm gonna do, oh my goodness, that's not screwed on tightly. Okay, well, happy accidents, I guess. I'm gonna blot that up, and I'm gonna do a nice big splotch of it on the page, and let those, in fact, I'll add some more around, and it'll look intentional before it's over, right? It's my story and I'm sticking with it. Yeah. And make sure all these other lids are on good. I've got that on my shirt. I'm hoping that it comes off. Okay, here we go. We can kind of make this I'll connect with my fingers. I can kind of connect down to that dot. And I can kind of go up like that. So I'm happy. This is not bothering me at all. I am, however, going to give it a bit of a dry off here. And one reason I do that is that these shimmery colors leave a nicer shine when they've been dried like that. And see, I've gotten some down into here, and because those were kind of semi-dry, it didn't blend in and make mud. Okay, so I've got another sheet here to work with for my funky fuchsia. Let me dry this off. Fortunately, I have a very busy print on the tablecloth so that it doesn't really show. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I love this funky fuchsia color, and I don't think it's close enough to that hot pink that is called bubblegum. I think it's gonna have a purpler look, especially if I blend it with the blue. And I've got it on my mat here, and I'm doing it on the wrong side. I'm doing it on the side that you maybe can't see. So this is what I've got on there, and I'm gonna kind of do this. And I've used a different technique with each one of these colors, and that's as much for me as it is for you, just to see almost another accident, and I almost hope you couldn't see that. When I just put the lids back on, I'm trying to hurry and get back to this. Now, for some purposes, I do not mind there being some white spots when I do the, what you call the packaging technique, or cellophane blending, or whatever term you want to use for it. In this case, I want these colors to be solid because I've got the white that's going over it, and I don't really want any white showing through, which will kind of conflict with the design in the cut file. So that's kind of my philosophy there. Let me get these put aside, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to intensify this purple by dropping some drops in there, and then I can use my fingers to blot out that white. And where there's not any blotting that's needed, like this part up here is beyond where the cut file will be, I'll just let those drops kind of exist. So I'm going to do a few drops, splatters there, and some down here, and I'm going to get a few over. I want them, the splatters, kind of associated with where those colors are, but I'm okay if I get a few splatters elsewhere, and in fact I'm doing that intentionally. Let's see. Add a little yellow there and some there. This is fun, and look at my fingers. It's great. And the gold is really, the shimmer is really coming up on this lime green, which is called fresh lime. And I might put a couple lime greens over on the purple. Here's that bubble gum, and I really want to heavily splatter that, and I'll splatter a little on the orange as well, and over here. And let's see, did I do the orange? I didn't do the orange. Let's do that. And I'll do some there and a couple drops over here. Now, this is Jen Hadfield's Gold Glitter ink, and it's kind of her version of, and it's a good replacement for Heidi Swapp's Color Shine in gold. And I really like the color of gold. I have a Mr. Huey's gold ink that works nicely, but the color is a bit, I don't know, brassy gold maybe, which is fine in some situations. I'm gonna leave that. Now I want to do some black, because I believe that colors show up nicely if there's a little black around them. And I'm really not doing anything particularly exotic here. And this is the end of the video, actually, because I'm going to let this dry, and then I will do a time-lapse or fast motion video completing the layout, and I'll have that ready to post up after this this little lesson post. But basically, my lesson to you all is don't be afraid to get your fingers dirty. This will all, use water-based products, of course. This will all wash out, all come out in the wash. And it may take a couple days because these Diane Reevely inks are pretty saturated. I'm seeing an area over here that's not really filled in. So even though that's not wet, I'm going to kind of blend that in. And of course I have some other colors, so I've created something of a mess over there. I'm hoping that the part of that covers it up. If not, I can always go back and add some splatters or something to make that sort of blend in. That was my mistake. I thought that was going to be a cool thing to show, but it would have been good to have used my pinkies that didn't have any ink on them. So I'm going to end this now, and I'm going to go stain treat my shirt, and I'll finish the layout later. But what we have here is a horizontal rainbow. So hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll get out and get messy and get your fingers dirty. So I've been at crops before where you got extra points if you made a mixed media layout and then you showed your inky fingers. So I always scored well in those contests. So thank you for watching. Have fun out there. Bye.